In today's video, you're going to hear six-figure questions and six-figure answers. The video today is going to be coming from a coaching call excerpt that we have with one of our clients. And this guy specifically, he had just started his business and he went from zero to doing over $240,000 a month, mitigation now, within 90 days, from zero to 240 in 90 days. So I say that to you to give you a backdrop. This guy's a smart guy. He's an application guy. And so hearing those questions matters. You're going to hear what he was struggling with, and you're going to get to hear how I help solve those parts in his business. Here's the deal. I think it's pretty good content. And if you own a restoration business and you want to get more water damage jobs from plumbers, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go. All right, guys, as we get started, hit the like and the subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know where you're tuning in from. Now, also, let me know in a comment, do you like this style content, yes or no? We're trying out some stuff on the format. If you like it, say yes, give me more of it. If you say no, go back to the old format. Any bit of your feedback helps, okay? All right, guys, to give you context, as we begin this part of the video, the thing that they're struggling with right now is he's got an opportunity where he's got a list of plumbers, okay? It's something handed to him, and he's trying to figure out how does he need to approach it, okay? If someone were to give you a list of owners or names or phone numbers of owners, how do you go about taking that list and making the most out of it? That's not an easy thing to answer. That's what we start off with on this call. And then also, we'll give you some other Q&A of stuff that I just think that you'll find generally helpful and useful. So let's hop in. So the question is, you've got a list of owners, numbers, and what's the best way to kind of get in front of them with a routine play that's not the fake league, slow league play, right? That's kind of the question.
Yeah, because I don't have the gatekeeper, right? Like I'm not calling the office. I'm calling their cell phone.
Yeah. My answer to this would be kind of twofold. Number one, if I feel like the connection's good enough and or I know who they are, there's a world where I might just, and it's going to depend upon, so whoever connected us, it's more about their relationship together than it is than anything else. Because if their relationship's loose, then that referral is going to be wonky at best. If they're really tight, you'll have more leverage to kind of go a little deeper and further. Does that make sense? So yeah. I would let that be the ultimate indicator. Does that make sense? But let's assume that their relationship is mediocre. Like they know who each other's name is, and maybe that's about it. What would I do? And I'll probably have to hit pause and think for a second. They're not going to know that you're calling them, right? You're going to have to introduce yourself and tell them and everything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like, hey, Squat. Hey, Squat, this is Patrick. I got your number from Tom or whatever the guy's name is, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to give you 30 seconds, maybe. You know what I mean? What I might do, I would probably run the leads play. This guy gave me your number. You know him, right? Cool. He said that you guys do this type of work. Is that right? And I verify what type of work they do and where they want to be. And tell them that I get some of that work from time to time. And I'd probably run it that way, right?
Perfect.
Have you seen that training? Do you know what I'm talking about there? Like, so this is the one where you're calling either the gatekeeper or you're just calling them on the phone, verifying they do this type of work in this area. The reason why you're asking is because you get leads like this and you need help and you need to be able to pass these things off. Is that something you guys do? Do you guys want more of these? Because I get them and I don't do that type of work. That's why I'm asking. You do want them? Great. What is the process? What will be the path for me to hand these leads off to you? And you're going to be looking for really that. So the conversation validates who they are, what they do, and it allows you to get past the tension and then that they want more. And then once they want more, then you're going to ask for a custom path, a custom way to hand bring those things to them that gets around maybe the gatekeeper. And hopefully that custom path will introduce you to either the owner or decision maker, which in this case, we're dealing with the owner. But you see, we still need a narrative and a reason to call him that's not about us. Does that make sense? And this gives us that. It gives us the room to have the conversation.
On one of them that I'm already in, the company's called Boston Standard. They're pretty big. I think they got like 30 plumbers out. I got introduced to one of the guys. He's like my age, just like kind of an average plumber, like working hourly there. Got connected to him through a friend. He gave me a first job last week. He's already given me 2 more. He gave some of my business cards to some of his buddies who work there. He gave my card to the dispatcher. So that's already kind of like off and running a little bit, but curious if there's like things to avoid or like just ways to nurture it to like help him give the cards to like more of his buddies without turning it too transactional. Like I know in one of the trainings you said like, hey, you don't want to offer somebody money if they're like, hey, that's not, what I'm looking for. Right.
So this scenario,
yeah, I don't want to make it overly transactional.
This company takes a referral fee. Is that yes?
Just the plumber. So they're not giving any of it to the boss. They have another company that like the owner wants them to use. But him and one other guy have been using me basically.
Before I usually say these, I want to make sure that I before I answer the question or go off on a tangent that's related to the answer of your question, I want to make sure that I take the nugget that maybe wasn't directly asked and set it down and make sure you guys hear it before we go off, because I may not remember to come back. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm going to do here first. The scenario is, well, let me give you a caution. For you guys, what he said is the plumber sending him work, but the boss wants him to use somebody else. Here's the cautionary tale. There was a situation or a time where I was doing the same thing, but I was getting jobs for a plumbing company with Tiller. I was getting referrals from 3 different locations, 3 different branches, multiple plumbers from 3 different branches. So I was starting to get a lot of work from these guys. Does that make sense? But the owner did not know who I was. They didn't have a problem with referral fees, but they didn't like it either. And every now and then, 2 or 3 times a year, he would walk in and say, damn it, never again, because something would get screwed up. And then he would just go ballistic and it would have to go hush hush for like 30, 60, 90 days. And then the referral started going again in the money. Does that make sense? And so what for me, I pulled the plug on the relationship, and here's why. They were becoming too much of my business for somebody just to lose their cool and then wipe out 20, 30% of my revenue. Does that make sense? So what you want to do is make sure that once that relationship starts giving you a reasonable and healthy dollar figure of referrals or whatever, you got to have a plan or a path to go through the front door or limit your exposure. Does that make sense? Don't continue to grow based on that work. And so that's the cautionary tale.
Basically be happy with the 2 guys I got and just be like, hey, I'll just take from those 2 guys. Or if I want to grow it, I got to go to the front door.
Well, 2 guys is different. I was getting it from like 7 guys, 8 guys in multiple locations. Okay. Does that make sense?
So I got a little bit more room.
Yeah, I would say so. But either way, I mean, hey guys, real quick, in case you didn't know, I help people just like you grow and scale your water damage restoration business. If you are interested in me helping you grow and scale your company, go to workwithshane.com. We hop on a 15-minute call to see if we're a good fit. Workwithshane.com. Now, let's go back to the video. If you start getting 5 referrals a month from this one company, and here's the way that I would boil this down. I always looked at how many referrals. That's the reason why in the intake form, I always say, who is the referral company? Because I'm not worried about the plumber that referred me. I'm looking at how many referrals come from a single company. Because if you ever get fired or banished, it's not going to be by a single plumber. It's going to be by the owner, and the entire brand is going to disown you. Does that make sense? So you've got to look at how much they send you, because worst case scenario, that's what all is going to go away. And so I always look at it, roll it up to the company level. Now, if you've got a couple plumbers, your question was, what do I do? Well, you get a path to go to the owner and you win him over. That's what you're going to do. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to win him over. And if we can't get all the work, we want to get some of the work. And what if you can't get through to the owner, or the owner is no way? Then I'm still going to take care of that plumber, because like if that plumber keeps using you, there's a world where he's going to get fired anyway. He's going to go somewhere else, but there's got to be a reason why the plumber's using you instead of somebody else. What is that reason? I'm asking you that question.
Yeah. The other people give them gift cards and they don't like the gift cards, and I'm giving them cash and they can use the cash.
You little sneaky rat. You find out what they want, you give it to them. Does that make sense? How many bank accounts are you using?
We're moving everything over to 1 now. So we're currently on 2, but we're getting everything on to like a local bank, because we were hitting our deposit limits on the bank that we started with. We can only deposit like $100,000 in checks a month. And we like hit it. So I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. So we're switching banks right now.
So I would encourage you to use 2 bank accounts. Let me think about this.
Oh, really?
Three bank accounts. So account number 1 is your income account. All your money goes into your income account. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then every dollar marked for recon comes out of, so it goes into the income account. That's all your business income. And then that way you only need to look at one bank account for all of your deposits throughout the entire year right there. Okay. Everything goes in the income account. And then after that, you make disbursements throughout the month and you will pull out you'll pull out the percentage of recon money out. And so there's going to be income, OPEX, and recon. Okay. And all recon funds go into recon. You get a recon checking account and you write all bills, everything related to that out of the recon account. Now, you can take out 20% or whatever safe margin is. So if you run a 30% margin, pull out 15%. So if you got if you got a $10,000 job, you can pull $8,500 out and put that into your recon and put $1,500 over into your OPEX, because that's going to pay for because your recon guy is a burden on the OPEX account, not on the recon account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And in that way, you're never robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
And so that's the first thing. Income, separate it, and then only when I'm asking like your revenue, only gauge your success on mitigation numbers, not recon, because the recon can be a little wonky at times. The MIT's always safe and it's always good. You know what I'm saying? It's always a clean number.
We've basically been working on jobs 6 days a week. We have 4 techs. We run like 2-man crews. 2 of our guys have their own truck, so they just like take them, and we have like the 1 van. And we're kind of at the point where like, hey, we're not going to grow MIT without investing in like more guys. And that kind of just wasn't something that we were on the path of. And I know something you've said before is like, don't try to grow too fast. Like, I'm just like, hey, we just have a good couple months. So I've kind of been like holding off on like taking more investment in like another van.
Yeah, I would probably like to sit down and go through your finances and just understand a little more. And then I could tell you what I would do if those were my finances. Because once you spend it, it doesn't come back.
Exactly. And I can't tell, is it just we've had a good month? It's cold in Boston in the winter and, pipes are bursting left and right. Although it wasn't that much weather stuff, to be honest, but people do say that it slows down here as the weather gets warmer. So we'll see. And
it will related to your busiest months. You know what I'm saying? Like in your first 6 months of business, banging out $200,000 months. Those are going to be more the exception than the norm. And if they are the norm, your life is going to be just chaos. And it's going to have to slow down a little bit because you got to be able to streamline some stuff. Does that make sense? And you can't juggle grenades and bottle rockets and everything else at the same rate. But if you've got some busy season like that, I might tell you take an extra season and just juggle it to get the cash, and then let's clean the mess up after that. Yeah. So the last cautionary tale is like, if you don't have different bank accounts, like I just told you earlier, here was the situation we were in. We probably had upwards of $400,000 cash in the bank. Good place to be, right? Young company, tons of cash, receivables are good. But I didn't have clear metrics on how much of that money was all MIT or from MIT, how many liabilities were against it. And so I started spending money like a drunk sailor. And then I hired people. I was ordering trucks off flatbeds, sight unseen, ordering van wraps, ordering $30,000 loads of equipment, just going and going and going in my 30s, just like, man, this getting rich was so easy. And then we did all of that, hiring guys making upwards of 6 figures. And then I turned around, and right after that, I had a $30,000 mitigation month. And I was like, what just happened? And within 90 days, I was probably under $100,000 in the bank. And I was like, what happened? Does that make sense? And I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm worried about. So
mm-hmm. That makes sense. So we can fix that piece. Guys, if you didn't already know, the two biggest problems you're going to have in owning a restoration company are this. Number one, getting consistent water damage jobs coming in the door. Number two, getting paid what you're worth for those water damage jobs. For that reason, I'm addressing both those problems with these videos to my left or right. On one side, it's about getting jobs. On the other side, it's about getting paid. Go over there, click the link. I'll see you in the next video.